Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. Well, welcome to another exciting adventure in the annals of the Marvel-ous Team-up with Grozz from the GKBC and yours truly, Tad from Tad Reads Books and Stuff. All right, so we're in the penultimate video for Harrow County Omnibus 2. Yep, there's only going to be one more video after this one, and we will be wrapping this up. Probably at the beginning of the next video, I will be presenting the next graphic novel that the Marvel-ous Team-up will be reading through. But let's get into this one. So as you know, this is Harrow County, of course, by Cullen Bunn and Tyler Crook. And this is Omnibus 2. It's a Dark Horse comic book series. Now, this is a horror story. And we're now in chapters, so this video will be 25, 26, 27, 28. So we do 4 chapters of each episode for this book. And we're in chapter 25. So chapter 25, I don't know, for me it starts out a little slow. I'm going to show you the chapter picture here, if you can see that. I hope there's not a lot of glare. Still working with my new lightings and trying to get it down to where it's perfect, but bear with me. So you can see this is actually, if you remember, Cammy, Emmy's sister, was taken down into the earth by Hester, and you can see the skeleton of what remains of Hester. So she was taken down into the earth, and you know, at first Emmy probably thought that she was dead, but she's had these feelings that maybe Cammy is still doing things, still affecting Harrow County in some way or another. And that's the case. So, but this chapter kind of opens up with Emmy and Bernice, you know, discussing that the family is going to do something, and Emmy thinks that maybe it's going to have to deal with Cammy, bringing Cammy back to life somehow if they can. So there's some recap in the beginning of this chapter that I don't really think is necessary. If you're this far along in the book, chapter 25 in this series, I don't think it's necessary to have all this recap of what went on in the past, you know, the story of Hester and everything, but they kind of use it throughout these 4 chapters, and I think it's a little bit of wasted space where they could have done more with the panels available to them. But we do have a little bit of rehashing, and the family saying, you know, getting Cammy, and Cammy's like, oh, you just brought me back to life to take care of Emmy because you're afraid of her, things like that. And then you're going to kill me, or find a way to try to kill me anyways, because I'm not really a member of the family. So we get through that area, that section, and Emmy decides to take Bernice into the forest to ask Malachi, the big creature, the big monster, for advice. I mean, she thinks that that's what the family is doing, is bringing back Cammy. So she goes into the woods with Bernice and meets up with Malachi, right here, the big monster. And he says, yeah, they brought Cammy back. You know they brought Cammy back. The family wants to kill you. They're going to use Cammy to do it. And Cammy is going to do everything she can to hurt you, you know, like to wear you down. And she goes, oh no, of course, Pa. So Emmy just takes off running to go save Pa, because she knows that that's where Cammy's going. And she just leaves Bernice in the forest with Malachi, which kind of pisses Bernice off, but that's what Emmy does. And As Emmy's going there, the skinless boy, her imp they call him, or familiar, is running with her. And boom, a tree sprouts up and kind of traps them in the tree. And she's like, you got to go save Pa. And the skinless boy fights through. There's thorns and everything. He tears them all up. But he gets out. Emmy can't get out, even though she's like the strongest witch around. And goes running to the barn to try to save Pa. Yes, of course. Cammy disguises herself as Emmy, goes to the barn, and kills Pa. The skinless boy's too late. So, we see all that, and I mean, it's kind of obvious what's going to happen. Of course, once he's dead, the tree mysteriously lets Emmy loose. Emmy goes running to the barn and finds Pa dead. Now, Pa, as we know, is a mud person. He's not really a real human being. He was actually made by Hester. But needless to say, Emmy's still very sad and now wants to exact her revenge against Cammy for killing Pa. We flash to Bernice in the forest with Malachi. Bernice is pissed off that Emmy left her alone again and says, you know what, I'm going to go after Cammy. So she goes after Cammy. Cammy has now moved, from killing Pa. Now she's going to hurt Emmy some more. So she goes to the village, to Bernice's village, to look for Bernice. Because she wants to kill Bernice now. Bernice isn't in the village. So she's going to attack the village people. Not the musical group, the Village People. But the village where Bernice lives. Anyways, she starts hurling glass at them, but then Bernice steps out and says, I'm right here. Let's go for it. So that's how the chapter ends. Bernice shows up and she's, well, you found me. And there's Bernice and Cammy right here. All right. So now we're going into chapter 27. 27 is, again, starts off with kind of like a flashback where we see Lovey is teaching Bernice how to deal with witches, how to maybe harm them or even, if necessary, kill them. So she shows her some things she can do. And now, of course, we flash back to the present where Bernice is now confronting Cammy. And Cammy's kind of thinks it's a joke. Yeah, this little house witch is gonna, do anything to me. And but the skinless boy appears with Bernice, so he's gonna help Bernice against Cammy. Cammy takes care of him real quick. She wraps things around his face he can't see, like tape or cloth or something around his face, like a webbing. He can't see. But while she's doing that, Bernice starts doing some chanting with some onions and some basic kitchen witch stuff, and kind of does the same thing to Cammy. And she thinks, I got her. And then we flash to back to Emmy, and she's kind of losing it. She's decided, I guess, that she's going to make another mud pa. I don't know. But she buries him, and the skin of the skinless boy is like, oh, they're killing me. And she knows that she has to go save the skinless boy and Bernice. So she doesn't make the mud paw yet. She has to run off to save Bernice and the skinless boy. Well, we flash back to Bernice and Cammy. Cammy gets out of, you know, her wrappings and haha, kind of, you can't beat me. So she's going to go after Bernice again. And Bernice does some more magic with a nail and puts it in the footsteps of Cammy, and then that freezes her and she can't move. And it's a cool little battle between Bernice and Cammy, going back and forth, trying different things. Some things work, some things don't work. But Cammy now, she can't move, but she's gonna still attack, and she decides, I'm gonna pick Bernice's grandfather, who of course in the village is there, and like blows him apart. So, but she's like, you know, why do you care? He's just a mud person too. But we find out though that Bernice is, what is she? She's kind of half and half, because apparently Bernice's father was, or mother was human and father was a mud person. I don't know. So Bernice is kind of half and half. I don't know what that means, but she's, you know, Cammy throws that in her face, and then finally rips out of her like, it was like a stake through her foot. She couldn't move. She kind of rips through that, and the skinless boy rips the coverings off his face, and oh, it's gross. You can see him here. He's got this you just see his skull. It's pretty scary. I mean, there's some scary images in here. So he's going to go after Cammy while she's kind of pinned down, and she turns and just like uses magic and rips the bones. Now we have a skinless boy, but now he doesn't have any bones either. She rips his bones right out through his skin and pretty much kills the skinless boy. That's pretty gross. I don't even know. I'm not even going to show you that picture. But then we flash back to Emmy. Emmy, the skin of the skinless boy is like, they're killing me, they're killing. Anyways, we're still back with the battle going on with Bernice and Cammy. And Bernice is holding her own. Cammy now is going to attack Bernice. But just when she's going to throw some nails at Bernice, lightning flashes and Emmy appears. Emmy's pissed. Emmy says, I'm sorry, Cammy. I'm sorry I had the life you wanted. I'm sorry for banishing you the way I did. Sorry I couldn't be the sister you wanted. Sorry I let you down. But most of all, I'm sorry that you forced me to do what's coming next. Yeah, now we've got the battle royale. Emmy is going to destroy Cammy. Or she's going to try. That's the end of chapter 27. Now we're in chapter 28. Here's the big front of chapter 28. You see Cammy looking beautiful. Cammy's basically said, you know what? I am, you know, Emmy, you're the embodiment of Amaryllis. But if you remember, Hester killed Amaryllis and then ate her. So we have another flashback at the beginning of this chapter where Hester has killed Amaryllis and eats her, you know, to ingest her power and her essence. And so now we have, oh geez, I'm getting the names mixed up. So now we have Cammy and Emmy. Emmy supposedly is the embodiment of Amaryllis, and we find out, yes, for sure, Cammy is the embodiment of Hester. So they're going to go at it again. We see, you know, a little flashback of, well, I'm not going to show you that. Hester eating Amaryllis on the beach. And so now they're going to fight. Well, Cammy thinks that because she is the embodiment of Hester, she's going to be stronger than Emmy. But Emmy, says I'm the embodiment, basically feels that she's, the embodiment of Amaryllis. And Amaryllis was the strongest of the family at that point. So Emmy says, I'm going to kill you, but I'm going to do it with my own bare hands. We're not using magic. And she charges Cammy and grabs her around the neck. I'm going to choke you like you killed Pa. And that doesn't work very well. Cammy just pushes her away with like the force, and then picks up a house and slams the house on the witch. Not necessarily like the Wizard of Oz, but you know what I mean. And so now, haha, I've killed Emmy. I'm gonna now kill Bernice. So she starts to attack Bernice, and lo and behold, no, out of the rubble of the house comes Emmy. She did not kill her. And Emmy says, basically, this is my turn. And she calls the snake hunters. Remember the snake hunters? Snake hunters are the dragonflies. And she calls the dragonflies like the thousands. And she's like, well, Hester, you are the biggest snake of them all. And these dragonflies come and they just like attack Hester. They just like go down her throat. They just infest her and they kill Cammy, Hester. And she's of course begging for her life at this point. But to no avail, Emmy kills Cammy / Hester. But is that really Hester? Well, we find out that might not be the case. Because what Emmy has to do is do what Hester did to Amaryllis. So Emmy starts eating Cammy. Bernice walks up on this now and is like grossed out and just, what are you doing? Oh my God, and just takes off, runs away. Emmy's like, oh, I have to. Well, she's ingesting Cammy when we flash over to the old oak tree, the beginning of the whole story, where Hester was hung and set on fire and buried beneath where Cammy and Emmy were born out of the tree. And we see lightning flashing and a skeleton of Hester slowly getting skin on it. And Hester is back. Yep, that's the end of the chapter. Hester's back. Now what's going to happen? It's going to be another battle royale between Emmy and Hester, or Emmy / Amaryllis and Hester. I don't know what the family's going to have to do with it. I don't know what Malachi's going to have to do with it. I don't know if Bernice is just gone or if she's going to have anything to do with it. I'm not going to read ahead, but that's where we sit. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. It was very gruesome, very, very visceral and scary, and there's a lot of hatred, going on, and people attacking each other. It was very action-packed 4 chapters. I didn't like so much of the flashbacks constantly, like almost the beginning of every chapter here, rehashing the stories, but I know what they're doing. They're setting up each individual chapter with a flashback. All right, that's fine. But I'm still excited for it. I can't wait to see what happens in the final 4 chapters. I can't wait to see what Grozz says about these 4 chapters. He always mentions stuff I forget to mention. But I did enjoy it. I'm enjoying the whole series, and can't wait for the next one. All right, guys, so that's it. That's Harrow County and the penultimate episode. One more to go. As usual, if you find any interesting, entertaining value in my videos, please like, please subscribe, and leave me some comments. I love the comments. And until next time, peace out.